Hello. So, um, I've wanted to do a few videos and maybe a write-up on some of the features you can find on hockeystatistics.com. So, in this video, I want to focus on shot data uh, because I don't think many of you use that data, but it's really cool and there's a lot of things you can do with it. So, we'll just start off by finding the data here on the website. So you can just go to shot statistics 2007 to 2022. So these files uh, contain all shots from 2007 and until 2022. So if we just click on it, we get to see all the files, and you could just select them and download them if you want to. But I already downloaded it, so it's not really. So we'll just find the files instead. So I got all the files here on the desktop. So here you see all the files with all the shot data. So if we just try and open one of them, it will take just a little while to open it because the files are relatively large. Yeah, so here we go. This is what the files look like. And if we just go all the way down, that was too far. We'll see that there's a lot of shots. There's 160,000 shots in this data. So if we just go through the file just step by step. So first we got the game ID, which is just the ID of the game. So the first four digits are the season 2021, and then the second two is, so then 02 means it's regular season. If it was 03, then it would be playoffs, and then just the number of the game. This is game number one. Then you got the season, you got the date. So you could just change this to a date. You got the date of the game, you got the period, you got the event type, shot, block, miss, goal. You got the time of the event. You got the strength, 5-on-5. You got even another type of strength. This is even strength, and it could be power play or shorthanded. Then you got the event team, you got the away team, the home team, you got the position of the event player. So if we just, so in this case, you got Steven Stamkos taking a shot, and he's a forward, right-handed shot. And in case it's a blocked shot, then the event player, the player one, is the player taking the shot, and player two is the one blocking the shot. Now, this is different from the NHL play-by-play data, but I think this makes more sense because the focus is on the shots and not so much on the blocks. Okay, then we got a lot of information about who's on the ice at the time. So we see here, these are the players on the ice for Pittsburgh. And this is the players on the ice for Tampa Bay. So you got 6 players for each team, and the score is 0-0. Then we have some goalie and coaching information. So the away goalie is Tristan Jarry, the home goalie is Vasilevsky. And the coaches, the event zone. So since we're only looking at shots here, most of the shots are obviously from the offensive zone. And then you got the coordinates of the shots, whether or not the event team is the home team, then it's a 1. If it's the away team taking the shot, then it's 0. Okay, then we got the goaltender facing the shot. So In this case, it's Tampa Bay taking a shot against Tristan Jarry. We got the shot type, wrist shots, so on and so on. Then you got a column here that states whether or not we know the location of the shot. So the thing is, all block shots we don't know the location of, because the NHL tracks the blocks and not the shots that are blocked. So this means that the location here is of the blocking and not the shot location. So all block shots have no location. So that's what this means. Also, in the early seasons, there are some shots without any shot location. So those shots will also have a 0. The only thing to say about it is that all shots without a location also has no XG value. So then you can see if it's a Corsi, Fenwick shot, goal, and if there's an empty net situation for either team, then this one would be a 1. Okay, and finally we got the value of the shot, the XG value of this particular shot. So I think that's what these shot data files look like. So next step is to try and combine all seasons into one pivot table. So we'll just shut down this one and open a new file. So what we want to do is we want to gather the data from all the files. So we'll just add 2007, 2008 season. And we'll just add the table. So this is the same data as we saw before. And then we'll just say load to. And then at first we just want to create a connection. Because then we can afterwards combine the tables. But for now, we'll just create a connection. And we'll just do it for a few more seasons as well. Select the table, load to, and create connection. And we'll just take one more file so that we got 3 seasons. Select the table and load it. Create connection. Okay, so now we got 3 seasons connected to this Excel workbook. And now we need to just append the tables. So we'll do that just by clicking Edit, open the Power Query, and then we can append queries and append it as a new one. So we got 3 tables or more. Just add. So what it does now is that it combines the 3 tables into one table. And it can do that because the column names are the same for all the tables. So we'll just do this. We can rename this one to shot data. And now we can load the combined table into a pivot table. So we'll just say close and load to. And we'll load it into a pivot table. So this takes a little while because it's 3 relatively large files. They consist of a total of 400,000 shots. So it will just take a minute or so. Obviously, if you do this for all the seasons, it would take a while longer, but I think most computers can handle it. My computer is nothing special, but it handles it just fine. But for now, it's just the 3 seasons we're looking at. Yeah, so we're just about there. Okay, so now we created the pivot table, and now we can start combining things from the 3 seasons. So we'll just start off by looking at the date and the game ID. So you can see here on this date there was 1 game, on this date you got 4 games. But we want to have it in tabular form instead, so now you got the date and the game in 2 different columns. Just repeat all items and remove all grand totals and subtotals. So now you have the date followed by the game ID. So you can just change this to a date like that. And now we have the game ID of all the games. Okay, so this was just with 3 seasons, but I cheated a bit and already combined all the seasons into one pivot table. So I'll just shut this one down. And here we got a pivot table with all seasons combined into one. But the process getting there is the exact same as we've shown so far. So here we can just start with the same thing. So the first step is to find the schedule of all games. So we'll just put in the date and the game ID. Again, let's just make this into a date. And then we can find the away team. And the home team. So now in 1 minute or so, we found the schedule for all games played dating back to 2007. So if we go down here, we can see that there are there's a lot of games, 18,000 something, 18,620 games in this data set. So now you got the schedule of every single game being played since 2007. It was really easy to find. So next step is we want some team statistics for each game. So I'll just defer the layout here. So we can add Corsi, we can add Fenwick, we can add shots, we can add XG, we can add goals. So when I update this, it will calculate the Corsi, Fenwick, shots, goals, XG for each game. So there were this many shots in the first game, this many on-block shots, this many shots on goal, the XG was this, and the number of goal was this. So that was quite easy, but we're probably more interested in seeing the shots taken by Anaheim versus the shots taken by LA. But that's really easy to do because we already have the is home variable. So we'll just add this one to columns and update. So now it splits it up. So all of these means it's the away team. A1 means it's the home team. So these are the Corsi, Fenwick, shot, XG goals by Anaheim. And these would be the data for LA. So you can see LA 1-4-1. So just like that, we have the schedule of every single game since 2007, and we have the team statistics for every single game since then. And the last thing I want to do in this scheduling part is to just add a few filters. So we can add strength 2 as a filter. Click on update. Now I can't change anything up here until I unclick this one. So now you can see you can look at even strength shots only or power play shots only or whatever. The blank one is empty net situations and penalty shot situations. So if we remove this one, we can see that LA only scored 3 goals, meaning that one of their goals was against an empty net. Okay, but we'll just add empty net situations again. And then instead of removing both empty net situations and penalty shot empty net situations, we want to just remove the penalty shots. So we can do that by adding shot type as a filter. And then just removing the penalty shots. Okay, so now we have all data for all shots except for penalty shots. And that's it. So this is one of the things you can do with shot data. You can easily find things like the schedule and team statistics. So we'll just try and start over, and instead of looking at team statistics, we can look at player statistics. I'll just leave these. So we just pick player number 1 because player number 1 is the event player, meaning it's the player that takes the shot. So if we just update now, we should get career statistics for all players. So you can see AJ Greer has 65 shots, 52 unblocked shots, 44 shots on goal, and he has scored 2 goals. So this way we can get career statistics for each player. We could even add in season, and then we would have season statistics for each player. So nothing strange or weird about this, but it's just really easy to find once you have all shot data combined into one pivot table. Now the problem with this is that you can't find on-ice statistics directly from the shot data, or at least it will be a bit more complicated to do. So for from the shot data you can find individual stats, but not really on-ice statistics. We'll get to that in the next video where we're talking about game statistics. Okay, the final thing I want to show here is that you can also use the shot data pivot table here to look at some league trends. So these are the number of shots for each season, but we could even look at, say, specific shot types. So let's put that one down here. So now we have how many backhand shots are taken in one specific season. There are some mistakes in the data, so I'll just remove those. It will look like a lot of shots, but it's only a few shots for each category here. So now we got all correctly tracked shots. So it's backhand shots, deflected shots, slap shots, snap shots, tip-ins, wraparounds, and wrist shots. Those are the shot types from 2007 until 2022. There are some new shot types in the current season, but those don't exist in these seasons. Okay, so this data you could use to look for trends. So I already did that actually. So this is just the same data, and then I calculated how many percent of so this means that 6.3% of all shots taken in 2007 2008 were backhand shots. So you can just calculate it again. So what we want is the number of backhand shots in 2007 2008 divided by the number of total shots in that season. So that would be just the sum of all shots if the season is equal to 2007 2008. So this is how it's calculated. So we can see here that backhand shots are relatively stable over the years, around 6.5%. Deflected shots have gone up from 1% to 2%. Slap shots have gone from almost 30% all the way down to around 14%. So there's a major decrease in number of slap shots over the years. Snap shots have gone down just a little bit. Tip-ins are around the same. Wraparounds around the same. Wrist shots have gone up a lot. So for the most part, you can say that in the early seasons, players were taking slap shots a lot. In the later seasons, players are taking wrist shots instead. I think this aligns with the eye test as well. So I think that was what I wanted to show in this video, just to give you an idea of how you can use the shot data you can find on the website. So please follow me on Twitter, like the website, use the data as you want, and I think that's it.